I can't believe it. She's a boy. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Real Talk, Miss Felissa Rose. Are you there?
Hello.
All right.
How are you? Woo!
We are great. Welcome to the show. Thank you for taking the time and chatting with us, giving us a call, hanging out for a few. We really do appreciate you doing this. And I had to play that little clip from Sleepaway Camp. Look you, Peter. And they're just like, oh, my God. We talked about this at the top of the show. So listen, we talked about how, we were saying about how this affected us as kids. I saw the movie. I was about, I want to say I was around 8 years old, because I was a horror fan. I went to the movies with my godmother, and my god sister, my cousins, and we saw this movie, and we knew it was going to be like a horror film, slasher film, but we had no idea what we were in store for.
You didn't know you were getting a little something extra at the end, huh?
Yeah, a little something extra, to say the least.
Not at all. And it was just so wrong. It was just so wrong. We crushed on you through the whole movie like, God, she is gorgeous. She is so cute. And what?
Cute.
She has
and
a
you
what?
Just like,
I'm done.
Oh, man, it was like, they just killed it right there. So, without no further ado, let me just introduce you to the rest of my co-hosts. I am the director, of course, as you know. I've been corresponding with you on the through the social media. I definitely want to introduce my co-hosts. They're my Jedi Council, and that is Kevin and Ralph. Say what's up, Kevin. Say what's up, Felissa.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks so much for having me, by the way. I really appreciate you.
We appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Yes,
Ralph,
thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Much gratitude. I'm very, very thankful. Look, we're talking about this movie 33 years old. I can't even believe it.
That is something else. That's amazing. Right? That's a blessing, that the fact that you're able to, like you said, 33 years later, and people talk about this film. And the funniest thing is introducing the film to different people, like a new generation and stuff like that. That is hilarious. I showed some of it to my sister-in-law, and she was like, "What the hell is this?" She was like, "Oh my God. That girl is creepy."
Right?
It's just hilarious. So, I don't know. It's just, the funny thing is, people love this film because what we talked about at the beginning was the film it was kind of like a first of its kind. It had a little dark humor to it. Mm-hmm. It had innovative kills that were not seen in like Friday the 13th and stuff like that. Not your typical just knife kill. It was different, with the beehive and stuff like that. It was innovative.
Yeah.
The curling and of course it had the curling iron. So I mean it was very innovative, but what it had of course the twist at the end that no one saw coming. So I mean literally, and I say this because of the type of cult classic it has gone on to be. It really, literally, we were talking about it on my generation when we were younger in the 80s, and just like when my mother used to tell me how they talked about Psycho. At the revealing at the end of Psycho, when they revealed that, that Norman Bates was the one who was actually killing people, no one saw that coming. You see what I'm saying? And people went and talked about it. So, I guess I am comparing you guys to the great, Alfred Hitchcock with Psycho, because at the end of the film, everyone was talking about that. We were on the block like, yo, you saw Sleepaway Camp? And everybody was like, yo. It's like, yo, you saw that end? No, forget about seeing Sleepaway. Did you see the end of Sleepaway Camp? And everybody
it's crazy because we used real teenagers, and I think that's what also captivated people.
That's what makes
like,
it a little hits home.
Yeah.
It
you
hits
had
home.
little
I like this.
Cursing.
Yeah.
You know, kids. That was crazy at the time to hear that kind of language out of a kid's mouth. You know.
Yeah.
It was very provocative for its time. It really had a lot of twists and strange parts to it with the father and right.
Yeah.
I mean,
all of this crazy. Oh my God, she was creepy alone. Just listen to her voice. I'm listening to her voice like, yo, that woman scared me as a child. You know, I was like, yo, she is crazy. For real. I mean, it really was.
Than all of us.
Now, I wanted to know, I didn't actually count how long it was, but into the film, it had to be almost a half an hour into the film before you said anything, your character.
Definitely.
And you know, she finally says, you know, good night, you know, and it's like, that's the first line.
You do that great.
And, you know, right. And she had, you know what, because the voice was so, you know, it was pretty. It matched the little pretty face, the little timid, shy girl, and the voice was just, I mean, it was impossible for her to be the killer. Impossible. I was like, no, it wasn't her. And I'm the type that always, since I was a kid, go to films and try to figure out who the killer is. And I'm like, it's got to be the cousin. It's the cousin. I said, it's got to be him because he's all pissed off all the time. And I thought it was him, and then I thought it was, but then I said it couldn't have been him because why would he do that to ruin his own self, which was the owner, you know, Mel or whatever his name was. So, you know, the old guy. So that was just some funny stuff. But even when I watch it now, I'm just like, yo, this was hilarious. It had some funny parts in it, man. And I hate to laugh at your expense. But it was funny when they hit you with that one.
Oh, I know. Right? I was so mad when we were filming because they were really throwing those water balloons at me. Damn. Now, but the thing is, we all got along really well. Like the whole cast, we had such a good time. It was like being at Sleepaway Camp. You know, it was like we filmed it in upstate New York, and we stayed there. You know, at the camp. And
wait, you actually stayed on set?
Well, no, there was like a motel close by, but I mean, we were living there practically all day, all night, you know.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. I just loved everyone, and it feels like, I mean, no time has passed. We still all talk all the time, and we hang out. I just love all of them. We were like a real family, you know. The movie has stayed with us all of these years. I can't get rid of it. No, I'm kidding.
No, you shouldn't want to. Don't even want to. It's a great thing to have that under your belt. People, not everyone get a chance to have a memorable film, a cult classic. Now first of all, I want to give you props because you from Long Island, aren't you? You grew up in Long Island.
Yes, I am.
Yes, right. Give that girl some applause, please. Let's get some applause in here. Yes, thank you. Strong Island is in the building because that's where I'm from, and that's where Kevin's from.
Long Beach, born and raised.
We are deep in the building right now. We are born and bred and raised on Strong Island, New York.
I love it.
And, so we definitely want to give you some props for that. Now, I got to take you back, obviously, and when you got the role. And how did you get the role? I mean, when did you get into acting? Because I mean, that's listed as your first film.
Yeah.
Was that your very first role?
It was my first role. You know what? I was a kid on Long Island, and I was singing and dancing, and my parents took it really seriously, and they called like some local manager in Plainview or something, like, hey, you know, she wants to, or that's Paige. She wants to be an actress, and they were like, okay, well, we'll send her on an audition. And the first audition was for Sleepaway Camp. And I hit it off with the director, Robert, right away. Like, we got along so well. And, you know, he just said, he just said, you're perfect. And then I got the call back, and then I got the part, and, the rest is history for sure.
Wow. So, what was the deciding factor for him that you know of? Did he just say you really fit the role, like physically, like you really look like this character I want them to look, or was it something that you have to do a reading or something like that? Well, if if he shared that with you, what was the deciding factor for him?
Well, I think he wanted like a kind of wide-eyed, innocent-looking girl, and he definitely said he wanted dark hair and dark eyes. And he had me just sit there and pretend I was eating a candy bar, and like pick the, kind of like just feel like I was being picked on. And, I don't know, I think that he just thought I had that kind of essence where I was, and he was wrong because I'm crazy. But in real life, I was just like loud and boisterous. But for the audition, I pulled it off, and I was just sweet and quiet, and exactly what he wanted. So it worked out, and he really helped me all along to make it seem like I was. I don't know. He wanted that, like every time the close-up was on my eyes, he wanted me to seem like kind of hurt, like there was a lot of pain there.
Yeah, and
because she went through a lot. Angela went through a lot. She lost her family. She watched the boating accident. So he kind of wanted all of these layers, but I was so young that it was like, how do you kind of get that? So he took me through a lot of stuff and rehearsed me, and I think it worked out. When I was on set, I really felt that way, like kind of, heard and picked on, everybody yelling at me. You had Meg and Judy. Those two pains in the ass.
Judy and Meg. Judy. Oh my God, that was just a real carpenter's dream. Flat as a board and need a script.
Oh my God, I love you. Yeah, they were my good friends, but they were so good at delivering those lines. Doing those roles.
Well, that's what's awesome about it because they, everyone, and the funny thing is now, your character, all right, so from a horror fan perspective, your character was the definitely the wild card in the film because no one realized that you were going to be the one who turns out to be the killer. So, their characters, which they did good jobs at it, but, there are those type of characters in every slasher film. You know what I mean? So you always have you got the slut, you got the mean, the mean chick, you got the one who's kind of like the nice one. You got the nice one, the sweet one, and hey, as the great Wes Craven, rest in peace, has did in the Scream films when they did the horror rules. They're like, the virgin always lives at the end of the
Right.
So,
that's right.
But so we knew they did good jobs at that, but they, their characters were the part of the formula of a slasher film. You just know they're gonna get it from somewhere. I think the way Judy got it was just wow. It was
perfect.
Different. That was great. That was great.
That's my favorite. I like the beehive, but I like the bow and arrow.
The beehive was good. That was good too. Bow and arrow was awesome. Right through. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that one was bad.
Right in the beginning. Yeah.
That was bad. Canoe. I remember that when I was under the water. Yeah. I tell you, it's different. Hey, Bobby, Bob.
Oh, like really?
Oh my God!
Someone is trying to push you under the water, and you're singing "Hey Baba Rebob." I mean, come on now.
You deserve to get it.
You definitely deserve it.
You deserve to get it. But I mean, like I said,
so cheesy, but in the best cheesy way,
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what makes them become cult classics. You know what I mean? There's so many films that get that moniker, that get that title, that, and all of them in their own way are a little cheesy. You know what I mean? Especially when you go back and look at them now. But like I said, the overall story. It was another thing we mentioned was that was definitely one of, at least from what I can remember, first of its kind that actually told a backstory that you had to flashback to right in the middle of the action, right at the end where they're about to reveal that she's the killer. Then you flash back and you see the crazy aunt talking. You hear her voice, and that whole scene comes together very nicely. They edited that very nicely the way they did that. There wasn't a lot of films, back then. Slasher films, like I said in the beginning, forgive the pun, it was cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? It was slasher films back then. Nice. So
get in there, get the killer.
Get in there, get killed, and get out. You know what I mean? Get in there, get killed. The virgin lives. She's the survivor, and the guy is gonna pop up at the end. And that's how it is. That's the cliche of slasher films. That's the formula. At least it was for then. So to flash back and show the storyline, like we were talking about, is because from the beginning, a lot of people get caught up in the camp part of it. You forget about the beginning when she lost her whole family, when the boating accident and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you go to because people sitting there like, well, why'd you get that thing wrapped around his head? Well, they had the boating accident. That's why that's like a bandage around his head. So it was really one of the first to do that in a film, and it was a different type of way of storytelling. So I definitely credit the filmmakers for that and telling the story
They're from
that way.
Westbury. Our director is from Westbury.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Strong Island is in the building again.
Yeah.
From Westbury.
Huh? Yeah, Westbury.
Wow, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. So you I've been seeing, online and we've seen you travel and you go to some of these things, and we've seen interviews with you and some of the cast members, but you guys were called back. A lot of the cast members that survived called back to go back to the return for Sleepaway Camp. But before we get to that, I want to ask you, I've always been wanting to ask you, what did you I know why you did not do I know why you didn't do the sequels, because you were continuing your education and things of that nature, but what did you think about the idea of having sequels? Was that something that you wanted to participate in, but you felt it was just for the greater good for you to go back to school and stuff like that?
You know what? I would have loved to have done them, but I really sucked at doing those lines. Like when I read the script, I didn't really connect with that Angela, because that Angela was a late 80s, way more comedic. There was a lot of comedy in 2 and 3. And Pamela Springsteen, so good at that part. I was so bad. I met Mr. Simpson, and it was no longer the Angela from the first one. It was a different character, and I just didn't really grasp that. And I had just gotten accepted into college, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to see if I really want to keep doing this acting thing. And, it'll work out. And he got Pam Springsteen, who he loved, and I went to school, and it kind of like, I love 2 and 3. I think they're great. And then when Robert wanted to do Return to Sleepaway Camp back in like 2003, he called me, and we went and did that. So it's like, it worked out. It was good. We did 2. They did 2. Maybe we'll do another one. I would love to do another one.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was pretty. I saw what they was doing with that, and I was like, yeah, that was cool. But obviously, when you see a sequel, the first, especially a sequel with a character that is, it's like the main character, you always look for the original cast. So you're hoping. So I remember when I first saw the film, I was just like, hey, that's not Angela. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm I'm looking like, hey, that ain't Angela. And but you know, so because she looked too different, you know. And we remember that look, like you said, the big eyes, the big, you know, dark eyes with the dark hair, and that look. No one forgets that look. So we was like, oh man, you know, but you know, it was cool, you know, it was cool. But I was wondering what happened. I'm like, what happened to the original Angela, you know? And then I was watching the film, waiting on you to pop up in there somewhere, you know, like. But
looking back, I wish things had been different, and maybe they filmed them back to back in Georgia. I sort of wish maybe it had been, you know, that it had worked out where I could have done them, but because my husband's a huge Sleepaway Camp fan and he loves the sequels, and he's always like, I wish you had done them, you know, but it worked out like it did, and it's fine, and, you know.
Yeah.
I partied hard
in
school.
You party hard in school, there you go. Well, at least, you know what, every time, you know, it's funny because we as fans and as you know, people who love doing film and whatever, we don't think about, sometimes we get selfish and we don't think about the actual actor who's, you know, got a life outside of the film world. And we're like, oh, you know, why didn't they come back and do it? But the fact that, you know, can't nobody argue with the fact, hey, you went back to school. And then a lot of people do that now. A lot of the child actors start off, then they go, you know, they go to school or finish school, and then they get back into it. You know what I mean? So that I think that was good. And you have a lot on your belt too.
And you have to see what works, you know, for you. Like, I wasn't really sure. Is this really what I want to do? You know, it's a tough business, man. It's not easy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard. It's hard, especially when you're young.
Yeah.
It's
wow.
Really but
do you feel that you got typecast?
I'll give you, like, breaking news right now in my life. My daughter is 10. Her name's Bianca, and she was just in Tales of Halloween, and she just got another part in a new movie. I'm just the casting person just texted me. So talking about, like, young people in the business, and now here I am.
And you just got that news. Breaking news. You heard it here first.
You're hearing,
like,
right now, she's just finding out right now herself. I'm whispering, I'm like, you got the part. So it's going to be her, like, 4th horror movie. So, you know, taking a page out of Mama's book, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That deserves applaud that.
It's the way it's supposed to. Oh, you guys are so cute. You know, it all happens the way it's supposed to, right? You have to just kind of go with your flow, I always say. Like, just let things happen. You can't make something happen. If it's not meant for you to do, if acting isn't, you'll find something else, or if it is meant to be, then you'll find the right stuff. But it's always, it's a matter of just kind of like being cool with it. People push too hard in this business, you know?
Yeah.
So
now, I know
that's my little sermon for the night.
That's nothing. And we're talking with Felissa Rose. And
I'm preaching, baby, you know?
That's what's up. That's what's up. So Kev had a question you had asked. What did you ask her, Kev?
I wanted to know, do you feel like you're still typecast and stuck in that role with Angela, or do you feel when you go for gigs or you go out to audition for stuff, do you still get put in that role, or do people kind of sort of look at you as, you know, new and fresh, and you're going into, you know, in something new when you go into audition? Or how much do you audition now?
That's a great question. Thank you. You know what? I think people still see me, even all of these years later, as that character. No matter what, it's like they just see me as Angela. But I've been lucky where I do have that dual side, that monster side. So I have been fortunate where I played the bad guy, you know, and because Angela sort of, if you really think about it, she's sweet and looks innocent, but she's really a monster. So it's sort of like, I played both in that, although you only saw the good. She was bullied, man. She got the ultimate revenge, truthfully. But I've been looked at to play that sweet victim, but fortunately I could play a mean badass.
I tell you. Now, did you ever get a chance to? Because I was looking through. You have one thing I love about the thing is you have a long line of work, and you've been working and working and working pretty much forever. You've been doing your thing all the way up until now, and that's what's up. That's a good thing to see that. But I see some of the pictures where you still do the famous face that you make.
Oh,
with
that's
the
all
Angela,
I do. I always say one day my faces get stuck like that. I'm just going to have that Angela face for the rest of my life.
But given your look, you have what I refer to as an exotic look with the raven hair and stuff like that. And given your look, have you ever been offered a vampire role? You would make an excellent vampire. And your teeth, the teeth already look kind of sharp. And when you're doing this face with the teeth, I'm like, yo, she would make a ill vampire,
I love it. I'm going to have to tell my agent now. Actually, we're in the process of, we're doing Adrienne Barbeau's vampire movie called Love Bites. And so we just took
we might have her on the show too, Adrienne Barbeau. We were in talks to get her on the show.
Her.
Oh
I love
man,
her.
Yeah, I love her.
She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, she is. She's
So
awesome.
we're
now you're doing a film with her.
Yeah, we adapted her novel Love Bites into a screenplay. My partner Harrison Smith, and it's a vampire werewolf movie. So
nice.
Yeah, that'll be in the beginning of the new year of 2016. We'll be in production with that. So look out for that.
You're on the production. You're on the production end on this.
Yeah, you know what? Well, I'm producing it with my partner. However, I'm hoping there's a small cameo. Maybe I could play a vampire. We'll see.
That would be nice.
That would be cool.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. You will be an awesome vampire.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I like that.
Yeah, you would be awesome at that. So that's going to be you guys. Now you have a lot of stuff slated on. When I look at your IMDb page, and you have a lot of stuff slated to come out, and you got some stuff completed, some things is filming. Where do I start? No. What's the next thing coming out for you?
I had some cool movies come out called Camp Dread, a really cool movie called Camp Dread with Danielle Harris and Eric Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a movie called Zombie Killers that was really an amazing experience. I got to play a totally different character, the preacher of the town, and that was so fun for me. And that stars Billy Zane and Dee Wallace and Misha Barton. Yeah, Billy Zane was very cool. We have all that, and then a couple of other things coming out. I did a short called Dinner with the Dwyers. I did another feature that I produced called No Solicitors. I just produced the Slayer video. That was super cool because I got to round up all these cool horror icons, Danny Trejo and Derek Mears, Sean Whalen, Vernon Wells, like a whole bunch of people. And that was really fun. Yeah.
Which Slayer? Because I just saw Slayer in concert at Jones Beach back in September. Which is it from the new album?
Repentless. I just did their new prison video, Repentless. It was the title to their, and you never know. I might be doing a couple more. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to say anything, but
that sounds
one of the most fun experiences of my whole career. Was producing that video. We shot that August 25th and 26th. It came out. It dropped with the album 9/11. The video coincided with the album, and fortunately, it's already had like 3.5 million views. So it's gotten some good exposure. It was a really cool. Yeah, it was directed by B.J. McDonald, like one of the most amazing directors I've ever worked with. He did Hatchet 3, and he came on board and shot this video, and it's brutal. It's crazy. Great cast. It's like a throwback to the 80s. Like, he really wanted to make a video with, like, a story, and it's crazy. So, check it out, Repentless. You can just look at it on YouTube. It's the self-title, the album's title, Repentless.
Yeah. Oh man, that is awesome. That sounds like a good feeling. So how do you like now? Yeah, how you like stepping behind the? How you like working behind the camera?
I was just telling my husband, I love producing. Like, acting is just one component. You know, you go on to the set, you do your job, and then you leave. Producing, you're actually, you know, responsible for the whole puzzle, the whole picture. You have to put all the parts together, and I really, really love that. It's the most stressful job in the world, but it's the most rewarding. Like, you just leave feeling like so accomplished. Like, whoa, I mean, I shook for like days after that video. I was like, oh, did we really wrap? Is it done? Because it was a lot of work. Even though it was just a 2-day music video, it was heavy. Check it out. I would love to hear your thoughts on it after this interview. What you think?
Man. We definitely gotta check it out. I mean, we definitely want to see some more from you. I like the fact that you.
Oh,
so how long have you had the production company? How long you've had the production company?
You know what?
For a little while.
I have. My company is Rose View Pictures, but I've been working with Carol Co Pictures now for like 6 months, and you know, that's who we're doing Love Bites with. So, knock wood, we'll have a lot more to come, and we'll see what happens, and one day at a time.
Wow,
are you looking to release that? Where are you looking to release that? Is that going to be on direct to DVD, or is that going to be in the theaters, or straight to Sci-Fi?
Oh, we really want a theatrical release, definitely. Yeah, We're definitely looking at it. So, yeah, even if it's like a limited East Coast, West Coast, you know, theatrical, and then straight to DVD and worldwide, everything, VOD, yeah. So I'm proud of that project. That's going to be a real dark, gritty movie, Love Bites.
Oh, nice.
We've actually retitled it to Vein. It's called Vein now. And it's kind of like Werewolf.
Oh, Vein?
Yeah, Vein.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is what's up. Yeah. So are you a fan of that? You're a werewolf, vampire fan?
Oh,
like, what's your favorite? You like the underworld, stuff like that? Like what's one of your favorite
films? I love all that. I love it.
Yeah.
It's very intense and interesting, and there's a lot of texture there. Yeah, I love these kinds of characters, and it's otherworldly. It's very cool. So I'm interested to see what we can do with this movie to make it completely different from any kind of, you know, vampire werewolf movie that's been out there. You know.
Wow. Come on, that
it'll be cool.
That sounds awesome. And we're talking with Felissa Rose. One or two other questions before we let you go.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask you, what is your favorite scary movie? Let's take Sleepaway Camp out of the equation. What's your favorite scary movie?
You know, it's so hard. I have so many favorites. But I think the one that probably just stuck with me the most, because I felt like it was so, like, on the money, scary. I thought it was real. I was very young when it came out, probably around Sleepaway Camp time. But the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I found that to be so, you know, incredibly. And my husband's giving me his favorite movies like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Black Christmas. You know. Oh, here he goes. Yeah, he's got his list. He's got his list.
Oh, he's got his list?
Yeah, he has his list. He likes all the 80s, like Don't Go in the Woods, Madman. He likes a little bit more of, they're a little, to me, they're less commercial, if you will. Like for those 80s slashers, they're a little bit off the beaten path. They're like
they're B-movies.
Yeah. Sleepaway Camp, you know, that's in his top 10.
Yeah.
You know, but did you ever see, like, Don't Go in the Woods?
Yes, Don't Go in the Woods. And then there was another film around that time called, oh, my God, what was the name of it? Children always play with dead things.
Oh, children always play with dead things. Do you like that?
Yeah. That was.
Yeah.
That was just some. That was a crazy one. Yeah. Or it's called Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. I think that's what it was called. I think it was called Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with that being
American
said,
Werewolf in London is another one. That's a good one.
Oh,
yes.
Forget about it.
That's a classic.
That is classic. That's more where like Zane would go, in that kind of not campy, kind of eerie and dark and gritty and sexy. I like that.
Very much so. Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, I know we don't have time to go through your top 5 villains, but who is your top 5 horror movie killer, murderer, just the most evilest person that you've ever seen on screen?
I mean, shouldn't we say Mrs. Voorhees?
Awesome.
I got to go with
awesome.
We have a lot of amazing Mike Myers and Jason Voorhees and I love them. But I got to give props to the mama. It's like Mrs. Voorhees. I thought she was amazing. May she rest in peace, Betsy Palmer. I was always a tremendous fan of hers. And right, we lost a lot of great ones this year.
We did.
Wes Craven and Roddy Piper. And Betsy Palmer is on the list, and she's such a she was incredible in that role.
Yeah.
So I would go with her. But also
should have been watched.
Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Jack Nicholson in The Shining was pretty.
Oh, that was brilliant. Or
Krug, David Hess's portrayal of Krug in Last House on the Left. That scared me so badly. That was like a documentary. Like, I watched that movie. I thought that was real. I was like, how did that happen?
Wow.
Oh, my God,
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That was. There was some
great ones out there.
Yeah, a lot of great ones out there. But I mean, that era.
Oh.
Oh man,
God.
Leatherface. I tell you though, that was I think I agree with you when you said, see, the fact that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on something that was like true event. That's what really to me, is what really scared everybody that saw it. I mean, it was a scary movie regardless, but adding that factor to it is like, whoa.
I think that's what I think they had something in the paper on Long Island at that time where they said, like, based on true events. And I think when I saw, I'm really dating myself. Well, I mean, it came out, like, I think 79. And I saw the paper. And at one time, Sleepaway Camp actually played with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I think looking at that vision of, like, the chainsaw, and I think they even had, like, Leatherface's mask. I was like, what is going on?
Whoa.
Whoa. Creepy. Yeah, that. And remember Magic? Do you remember the movie Magic? I think
Magic, yes.
You're Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, that poster. I mean, there were certain movies that I saw, and the poster alone had me crazed, So, I mean, and it's all old school, man, It's like that day in the 80s, we weren't as numb as we are now. I think we kind of, it takes a lot to scare us.
Exactly. We touched on that a couple of episodes ago where we talked about the reason why horror movies don't work now is because that innocent kind of sort of, for lack of a better phrase, that innocence is gone. Like when the 80s passed, that innocence for like society and things that go on, like you said, people are just numb to it now between video games and everything else. So it's hard to really get, like even with supernatural films, to even get people to be like at the least bit scared or startled at certain things because we see so much now. It's like nothing phases us anymore.
It's so true. I mean, and that's a shame. I love that time in every way. Music. It's like amazed by Michael Jackson's Thriller. That was like my day.
Yep.
It's like I remember, I think it was my 13th birthday, and that's all we played. It was on rotation. It was like, and you watch that video, and it was like the effects, the makeup, the appreciation we had.
Yes.
And it's like today we gloss over everything. I'm not a fan of CGI. I love practical effects. Anytime I'm part of a project,
Rick Baker
I'm a
was
part
good
of
at that.
Oh man, right? Those days when we did practical, you got and you wanted to watch it because it was going to be good. Everybody, their passion and their creativity was full blast with that. But nowadays we're just like, and I think that's why we love shows like The Walking Dead, because I think they're really there's a lot of love there, And Greg Nicotero, man, he loves the art, the artistry, the craftsmanship. You get people like that coming and Quentin Tarantino, who really love the art. You're going to get good projects.
Yeah. I got to ask a question because you just said it. Do you think that CGI is just the cheap way out? Like, well, we don't have to do a practical effect. Let's just do a CGI thing, and because the movie going audience today is just they just don't care. Right. So let's just do it cheap and
I don't know.
I think the cheap way out is the lazy way out, maybe.
I'm sorry, lazy way out.
Yeah. I know it's definitely not. I mean, you could do it cheap and then it looks really bad. But I've been on films where you have some CGI and always the practical is just the way to go. You have to take your time, and if it's good, it's just going to blow CGI out of the water. And I'm old school. Look, I still wish we were shooting on 35 millimeter. So you're talking to a girl who, would prefer having our movies still shot on real film. But, we have to move with the trends and the technology. And I think one day we're just going to move right into virtual reality where we're going to sit in the theater and we're going to be enclosed in some kind of weird contraption, and we're going to watch a movie where we're actually involved.
You're going to be a total immersion into the film. Yeah.
Which would be cool. Hopefully we can, do something amazing like that. But I just don't want to lose that sort of entertainment is so important, and music, and I mean, let's just keep that, alive and support everything we can from low budge to high budge, but hopefully people will still bring their passion and their craftsmanship.
That's an awesome way. It's a good segue to my one technical question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
What did they do? How'd they pull off the penis effect? What did they do? I got to know. I'm a filmmaker myself, so I got to know.
That's a great question. They made the incredible special effects person we had was Ed French. He's gone on to do amazing things, Academy Award nominated special effects artist. He created a mold of my face, and he actually put it on a real boy. And they had to shave that boy, and they had to, put a wig on that boy. That poor kid, he got drunk, and he was crying. And to me, he's the true star of the movie, and he should really, somehow make his way out of wherever he is and say, yep, that's me, and I've grown since that day.
Wow.
You got to add that part. I've grown.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's what because I saw some things online, I saw some old production stills of you maybe holding the molded cast of your face or something like that. So I'm so they're doing that. That's what I figured, but I wanted to get the confirmation from you on exactly how they did it. So they basically made a mask of your face, and they put it on a real boy. They put it on a boy.
They were going to put a penis on me. That's the truth. But I don't know how they could have pulled that off because I'm still a chick. I still had boobs, even though I was 13.
Right. Yeah.
So I have no idea what Robert, the director, was thinking, Robert Hiltzik, but ultimately he decided the best way to pull it off would be to get a real boy.
Yeah.
So
that was the best decision. That was the best decision to make. If you're gonna go there, just go there, and then
that's it. Just do the real thing. Yep, that was it.
Don't pull a booty nice Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my God! There you go. Exactly. We're no booty nights here, baby. No, we got the real deal hanging out.
You got the.
Now, did any of the producers or any of the director or anybody catch any flack behind that? Like after the film, like when you guys first screened it for like your for the producers and for the studio, when you first screened it for them, how did that ending? Did they give them any flack? Did they say, "Oh, you need to change that"? Was there any resistance to that?
It's funny because they recently asked Robert, like, how did you feel? And he said he was nervous that he would get an X rating. But he said when they called, they said, well, we have some hard news for you. And he was like, oh, man. And they said, we're going to have to give you an R rating. And he was like, oh, is that it?
Oh, that's it?
Oh, that's sad. I guess I'll have to accept that. And he did. And, he was very fortunate because we know that could not happen today. You could not pull that ending off today. So if we remake it, it would have to be a whole different kind of a movie. We'd have to figure out something that's as intriguing and crazy and shocking, but not that particular.
Yeah, which to me is kind of sad that they wouldn't even, because nowadays the studios don't even want to give you, or they almost don't even want to give you an R rating. They're just like, oh, well, can't you just change the story?
Mm-hmm.
And it just messes up the continuity of everything. I think that's the other reason why a lot of these films don't work is because of the rating system, because everybody's shooting so hard to get that PG-13 or something in that middle ground that, stories end up getting changed. They don't end up being the way they should be.
I know.
It's just,
I'm with you. I feel the same way. It's like, just give us the movie. My whole thing is just if you're passionate about something, don't change it all around to fit a certain mold or whatever. Just do what you want to do, and then, the audience will find you. That's the whole thing. The audience will find you. So just stick to your idea and be honest with yourself and with what you want to make, and then, that's all you can do. That's how I work. I can feel something. If it's not working, if I read a script and it's just, crap, I'm not going to make it just because I think, oh, well, I have to do this. I have to be truthful with myself. At the end of the day, that's what I live with, is what I make. So
that's true.
So
when you got the
keeping it real.
When you got the script for the return to the Sleepaway Camp, did you once again what went through your mind? I know you were probably excited to reunite with some of the original cast members.
Oh, yeah. But I had no idea who I was playing. He didn't give me the last 2 pages of the script. So I read the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, this is cool because it has the same feeling like the first one. But then when I, spoke with Robert, I said, well, what do you want me in it? And he's like, yeah, do you know who you'd play? And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I was a bit surprised, and I thought, whoa, that's what's happening? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing I knew, I was in 6 hours of makeup every day.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it took 6 hours to do that.
If I remember correctly, they didn't put your name in the beginning of the credits, I don't think.
They didn't put it on the box, they put it on the movie.
They wanted to preserve the surprise factor. They didn't put your name until the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was interesting.
Right.
I thought that was interesting that they went ahead and they put other people's names in there, and so that was cool. So do you got any Comic Cons or conventions or horror?
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch. Everything. I kind of wait. I have somebody who helps me get these conventions going. I just got back from the amazing Rock and Shock, and right before that I was in Alabama, and traveling from city to city and state to state, and I just updating FelissaRose.com. Very soon I'm going to be adding a few more that are coming up. So, yeah, definitely check in there. I have to myself just to know where I'm headed, but but I love going to the conventions and meeting everyone because I'm a fan myself, so I get to meet people that I admire, like PJ Souls and Tobin Bell. And,
I got to get out to one of those, man. I got to get out to one of those. I relocated to Florida, Central Florida, so I'm like, okay.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna have to find me one. I'm gonna have to find me one of these things to go to.
So in Florida they have Spooky Empire. Did you ever go to that one?
Okay. I've never been.
Yeah,
I just relocated. I don't know much about Central Florida.
Oh, we have to find some for you. They're so amazing. Both of these conventions are great.
I need to go check those out because I've been itching to get in and just go there. We just, the Chiller just happened, and Ralph was there at Chiller Convention in Parsippany, New Jersey. Yeah,
it was fun.
He was there. It was fun. So we try to get out and represent whenever we. Yeah, it's really cool. A lot of people there. I love all of those type of things, though. All of those festivals, Comic Cons, and I mean, it's just awesome. So you just make sure you keep up. We'll keep up with where you're gonna be,
and I'll keep up where you're going to be, and then eventually we'll meet up somewhere.
Yeah. Eventually we'll meet up somewhere, yeah.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Like that.
Or if fate will have it, you make sure you give me your agent's information, and I might have to cast you in a film, because I'm a filmmaker myself.
Oh, there you go. I love
there
it.
We go.
Thanks. That's it. I'll be hitting you up.
That's what's up.
That's great.
That is what's
Good
up.
for you.
Well, we definitely appreciate you hanging out with us. It was
I
awesome
appreciate
experience.
you guys. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
No, that's not a problem.
Thank you for coming
I always think.
Thank you for coming on.
I always want to thank everyone every time that we have someone on, because we've talked to a lot of different people, actors, actresses, directors, whatever, and sometimes, especially when you contact them through social media, they say they're going to come on and they don't keep their word. I really, really appreciate you keeping your word and coming
on.
Because we didn't do it the official way. We didn't go through publicists. We didn't go through stuff like that.
I don't
We did it the old-fashioned way. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way it should be. I'm sorry.
And we kept it. Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't go through the email. I'm always wrangling kids. I have 3 young kids. So sometimes I'm bad about checking email and whatnot, but I'm always there. You have my word. Absolutely. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you guys on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Tremendous
gratitude.
Your social media.
Thank you.
Shout out your social media before we let you go, so everybody knows where to check you
Yeah.
out.
I am Felissa_Rose on my Twitter. I am Felissa Rose 123 on Instagram, and I'm Felissa Rose Esposito on my Facebook. So there you go.
Yeah, I think I sent you a friend request. Make sure you.
Oh, good. Yeah, I had to go through that. I know sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm bad, but I try. But my website is FelissaRose.com. And I love it. It's just sometimes I don't. I'm like, again, it's Halloween time. We're busy getting costumes and pumpkins and all that jazz. So I'm running around with these kids. But, have a great week, you guys. Have a great Halloween.
Have a great week and a safe, beautiful Halloween. Thank you very much.
Hope to meet you soon. Take care. Be well, guys. Thank
you. Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Felissa Rose, everybody. Awesome.